Welcome everyone. This is the third video of this series, Teaching Aptitude, based on the Assam University B.Ed Entrance Examination syllabus. Our today's topic is General Understanding about Teaching. Let us see the contents of today's discussion. We'll discuss two topics today. First one is phases of teaching and then the qualities of a good teacher. Let us now see the phases of teaching. According to Philip W. Jackson, the teaching stages has been divided into three phases. One is pre-active, and then interactive phase, and then post-active phase. The process of teaching follows these three stages or these three phases sequentially. Now, what is pre-active phase? Pre-active phase is actually called the planning phase. It is actually all about what teachers plans before going to classroom to deal with students. Why it is necessary? It is necessary because good planning makes the task of teacher smooth, functional and successful. In this pre-active phase, we have two steps mainly: establishment of some kind of goals or objectives, that is formulation or fixing up the goals. What does the teacher do before going to the classroom is that the teacher formulates in details the instructional or teaching objectives, and those objectives are written in behavioral term. You learn what behavioral terms, how to write objectives in behavioral terms in your B.Ed course. Then discovering ways and means to achieve these objectives. Let us discuss the pre-active phase in details now. So pre-active phase has a number of steps involved in it. The first one is the formulation or fixing up the goal. As I have already told you that formulation or fixing up the goals is done in terms of instructional or teaching objectives in behavioral terms. The second point is selection of content or subject matter to be taught. The teacher decides about the content to be taught based on a number of considerations. For example, he will search what are the demand of the curriculum prescribed. He will also take into consideration the motivation level of the learner and also the teacher's preference for assessment relating to the content. Then comes the arrangement of ideas and style of teaching. The teacher has to arrange subcontents in a logical sequence so that it functions in a systematic manner. The contents or the subcontents are to be so arranged that it should facilitate the transfer of learning. Then number 4, selecting intuitional methodology. Then the teacher decides about the strategies or methodologies that he will use inside the classroom. Then development of teaching strategies. So it is also the developing the strategies, that is formulating the strategies. Then deciding the duration, place and management of classroom teaching. This also comes under pre-active phase. And then lastly, the decision about evaluation tools and techniques. The teacher has to decide the tools that he will use in the classroom while transacting the curriculum. He must decide when he will use questioning, when he will use lecturing, when he will show pictures, charts or models, or when he will use blackboard. So everything is decided in a pre-active phase. Then the interactive phase. So this phase refers to the execution of the plan made during the pre-active phase. All the things that the teacher has decided in the pre-active phase it just gets executed in interactive phase. Interactive phase means the actual teaching. When the teacher enters inside the classroom, then the interactive phase starts. In this process, the teacher provides learning with verbal stimulation. The teacher asks questions, the teacher shows various posture and gesture during the course of lesson, during the transaction of lesson. These are the three steps which are followed in interactive phase. Firstly, setting up the class. As the teacher enters the class, he perceives the size of the class. First of all, he rolls his eyes upon the faces of the students sitting in front of him, and he locates and identifies if anything disturbing or troublesome for him, and then he identifies which faces are discouraging, encouraging. This way he sizes up the class. Knowing the learners, then the teacher will do something, will ask some questions to know the background knowledge of the learner, to know the abilities, the interests, the attitudes of the learners. And then the third phase is the starting of teaching. At this stage, the teacher, what does the teacher do? The teacher starts the actual teaching. He selects a number of stimuli, and those stimuli are selected in a systematic manner. He must follow three things actually while presenting those stimuli. He must present them in a systematic manner. He must know the form, the context in which the stimuli is to be used. Then comes the post-active phase. So it is also called the evaluative phase. This includes the evaluating students' performance based on classroom teaching. So in this phase, the teacher will evaluate, the teacher will check whether the student has learned or not, what he has provided to the students. So this stage, the teacher do the following activities. Firstly, evaluative activities. The teacher will ask some questions, will test the students, will in the form of tests, quizzes. The teacher also understands by observing the students' reactions to the questions, how fast they are in reacting to teachers' questions. He will try to identify the teacher, the students' level of knowledge, the level of understanding from their comments. Finally, the teacher will sum up all the things that he has discussed in the class. He can make them verbally, or he can write those key points in the blackboard. Let us now start our second topic, that is qualities of a teacher. Who is a teacher? A teacher is a person who teaches and one who educates. So teacher means someone who teaches us something, who carries out all the processes that are involved in the process of teaching. He is a teacher. Then, who is a good teacher? To know what makes a good teacher, one must know the task of a teacher. So, what are the tasks that are performed by a teacher? Whenever one knows about those, he becomes a good teacher. Let us now see what are the major qualities of a good teacher. So we have divided the major qualities of a good teacher in two groups. Firstly, the professional qualities, the professional qualifications that a teacher attain, and the personal qualities. What are the personal qualities that teacher should possess to be a good teacher? Now, professional qualities. So what are the professional qualities of a good teacher? Let us now see. Number 1, mastery of the subject or field one teaches. A teacher should have a mastery over the area, over the domain on which he teaches. Effective learning demands that the teacher possesses solid knowledge of the subject or the field that he teaches. He should have a thorough knowledge about the subject that he is going to teach. Next, understanding of the learner, that we have already discussed in our last video, that teachers should know what the learners need. Teachers should identify the diverse needs of the learner, because each of the learner have a specific needs. Thirdly, understanding of teaching principles and skills in the use of techniques for their implementation. The teacher should understand all the teaching principles. In your B.Ed course, you will learn the maxims of teaching. There are certain rules one must follow while teaching. So teachers should know about all the principles and techniques of teaching. Then general understanding of the other branches of knowledge. So the teacher must be able to show his subject relates with other fields. If teacher just go on teaching on his own subject, go on lecturing on his own subject, it becomes boring to students. He must correlate his subject with other branches of knowledge so that the teaching becomes attractive. Then understanding and appreciation of the teaching profession. A teacher must be boast of his profession. He should be proud of his profession. He should promote his profession. Now, personal qualities. The qualities the teacher should possess as a person, as a human being. Let us see what are the personal qualities of an effective teacher. First one is passion. The teacher must have a passion. It is just a compelling force, a force that arises from within. A teacher should feel that he should teach, and this compelling force from within must come while teaching. He should have a passion for that. Then humor. Teacher sometimes should crack jokes to break the monotony of teaching. Then patience. In teaching, patience is the most required quality that a teacher should possess. Patience refers to a teacher's uncomplaining nature. He can't complain anything. If a student doesn't learn, if a student doesn't show interest, he can't complain on it. He should just find a way, one way or the other, to make the student learn. This requires patience. This was all for today. We will meet in the next class. Thank you.